Hello, Spaces Unleashed. My name is Jason Zakowski, aka Dad Guy.
And I am Chris Zakowski, aka Mummy Fave.
Every week we give you the lowdown about what's happening with Bunsen and Beaker. We answer your questions, but most importantly, we want to hear your stories about your pets. So, here we go. Hold on to your tail. It's Spaces Unleashed. All right, Chris, if you can go first, it'll give me a second to put some stuff up into the nest with your story about Bunsen and Beaker. After that, we'll open up the floor to questions once I'm done my story.
Yeah, so I'm participating in a readathon, and it's a social justice project to raise money for Ukraine. And I suggested that we do something at my school to raise awareness. And part of social justice is having a learning piece where students actually do something and are involved. So we decided on a readathon because that works really well in our online environment. And so we're doing that. And I said, my commitment, well, I'm reading some other things, but part of my commitment is to read to the dogs. And so I found some picture books that we had at home. And then I went to the public library and got some from Raffi, some of Raffi's favorites, and just started reading. And it's been going really well. The dogs seem to like it. Bunsen sits a little bit better than Beaker. If there's any light coming off the book, if it's like sunny in the room, she's getting that light. She doesn't care about the story. But Bunsen, he's like, yeah, I'll stay and listen. So I enjoy it. It just reminds me, back at the time of Advent when I was just with the dogs and just me and the dogs, just the dogs and I.
I think people are liking it. I mean, it's a long video, and longer videos, the metrics aren't as great as shorter videos, but there's thousands of views, which means that people are watching about half of it at least. So that's pretty incredible, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Are you guys liking it? Are you guys liking the stories with the dogs that Chris is doing? Give us a heart if you do. We'll have to just wait. We got a clap. I mean, that's as good as a heart. There we go. Okay, so we got some. We got some. Yeah, look at all the hearts coming in. See, people like that.
I love it. For me, I try and pick the shorter stories so that they are, the dogs. It's partly maybe our audience attention span, but really it's the dogs. They only have an attention span of so long, and then they get up and they wander around, and Beaker, just runs around.
It's kind of like kindergarten. Yeah. I think like when I subbed kindergarten, you try and tell them a story, and there's always like one kid that's just doing what Beaker does. Like,
yep.
Like, okay, I'm reading the story, and then 2 minutes in, or like not even, some kid is like doing somersaults in the back, and you're like, what are you doing? And they're like, I'm listening. And you're like, no, you need to come back to the reading mat. And this is why I teach high school science right now. So
I'm sure some of them are doing cartwheels at the back of your classroom.
In chemistry? No, they're just trying to stay awake. So I'll share my story. We've had warm weather. Like weather in March and April is kind of erratic, and we've had a stretch of about, I don't know, let's say a week of +5 to +10, and there is no snow on the ground in town except in piles, and it's rapidly melting everywhere. And the creek has started to run again. So we have this seasonal creek that runs down from our house. Our house kind of looks over. It's really pretty. And in runoff season, the creek sometimes roars, like it gets dangerous. So I try not, if it ever gets that bad, I'm not going to take the dogs for a walk down there, but we went and it was just kind of going. It was deeper than I could wade across. And, Bunsen's like, Beaker jumped across and Bunsen's like, nuh-uh, I'm not getting wet. So he gave the creek the widest berth on the walk, and Beaker was like jumping back and forth and wading through it. And it's like freezing cold. She was not cold in the slightest. So I know a lot of people are concerned about if Beaker's cold. Like, is Beaker cold in the winter? And the answer is like, she's a golden retriever. They have a double coat, and she was in this icy water and not shivering at all. Like she was just having fun. So she stays warm in that with her special coat. So that was kind of fun. It was really funny to see Bunsen. He just looked at the creek and he's like, you could see him thinking in his head and he's like, screw this. Like he just went around it. So anyways, that's my story. Chris, did you want to share?
He was super.
Go ahead.
He was super sad today at Waggles because they have ice on the ground. And then he thought it was ice, but he went right through and his paw got in a puddle. And he thought, he was like, this is rude. This is not ice. This is puddle ice. And he was very disappointed that happened to him today.
Yeah, he doesn't even like getting his feet wet. Did you want to share a story about agility?
Yes, I do. Beaker did so well. I just love how smart she is and how much she loves working. She jumped over those jumps and went right through the tunnel. And really, she just has to see it once or twice, and then she knows what to do and she just wants to do it. And she's really excited. And then also, one thing that we've noticed is there's another dog on the other side of the fence. Like she has, if there's high energy, then she's all like, oh, I'm going to go talk to that dog. But she was able to do it without distractions, which shows a lot of growth on her part.
Yeah. And we mentioned in the podcast in the family section, it was a relay. It was like a race, right? So we were, for fun, for a test, we had to do it as fast as we could. And Beaker the other dogs improved so much too. So like there's 3 other dogs and they did so good. But Beaker smoked them. Like she was so much faster. And then the trainer brought out her agility dog who's like 5 and has done agility trials, and Beaker beat Seiko, this agility dog, which was awesome. Just by a little bit, but I think it shocked I shocked the trainer a bit that Beaker was so fast. Cuz she's kind of streamlined. Are you dealing with a grouchy dog up there? Okay, I think Chris is dealing with a grumbly, grouchy dog. If you're just joining, okay. If you're just joining us, my name is Jason. My co-host is Chris. We are the dog parents of Bunsen and Beaker. This is Pet Chat. We've kind of talked about Bunsen and Beaker, so we're going to open up the floor to take questions from the audience, or you can share your pet story. As well, I wanted to remind you that we are sponsored in this space by barkandbeyondsupply.com. And there's a couple tweets of theirs up in the nest. I think at, what do you think, 6:35, 6:40, we'll do a draw. We'll do a random draw. And if you are in the space, I think probably the easiest thing to do, Chris, is to draw a number from like 1 to 40 and just count from us instead of like trying to put names down.
No, I've been entering the names, Jason. I've been frantically, yes.
Okay, you've been putting names in. So we'll have a winner. And we had a game, and I just wanted to congratulate Karen for being first in the game. We wanted to do a different way to reward a prize because maybe not everybody plays the game, and we wanted to have everybody have a shot at that. So if you would like to request the mic to come up to chat, go ahead. I'll just keep holding the floor here. One of the things that I wanted to mention real quick. Oh, we got some people coming up, which is great. Chris will check out your account. We have opened up a private Twitter account called Bunsen and Beaker Unleashed. And it's a way for us to have, as Canadians, we don't qualify for any of the creator monetization stuff that's been going on. We don't qualify for super follows. We don't qualify for the Spark program or ticketed spaces. And we have a Patreon page. And what we've decided to do is that at any tier on our Patreon page, you have access to this private account, and it operates like super follows, which means we've been operating it already for like a week and a bit with our patrons who were basically the guinea pigs for it. And it's been a lot of fun because, we've had unsent Beaker tweets that I've deemed not appropriate for our main account, and then also just tons of extra content. So it is like the super follows that other creators have on Twitter. If you want access to it, any tier on our Patreon page will get you access to that private Twitter account. Okay, Chris, how's it going with our speakers?
I have Snickerdoodle coming up to speak, and I'm just checking the other request.
Perfect. Okay, hello, Snickerdoodle. But that's not your name, I know.
No, it's not. I have a question actually on behalf of a 6-year-old boy who the other day saw my dog and asked why my dog was sweating so much. And I said, well, I didn't know that he was. He says, well, his nose is so wet. And I said, well, dogs sweat through their paws. And he said, well, if they sweat through their paws, then why are their paws dry? And I thought, that's a very good question.
Oh, so you're just wondering why their nose is wet?
Well, he was wondering why their paws were dry if the dogs sweat through their paws. Why aren't the paws wet? And I thought that's a very good question. And I had no answer for that.
Yeah, so it's a tiny percentage. Yeah, that's a great question. Little kids ask such good questions, hey? I talked about it on the podcast a couple of years ago, so I'd have to go into the research to figure out the exact percentages. But it is a tiny, tiny percent of the overall quote unquote sweating that a dog does through their paws. Like basically their paws might be damp and that dampness is their sweat. And you may not even really be able to feel it. I would want to say it's less than 5%. Most of their heat regulation comes from their tongue, right? From panting.
Yeah. Okay. I'll make sure I tell him that because I was completely stumped. I wasn't expecting a question like that.
No, kids are amazing. And if you smell the paws, don't they smell like corn chips?
Yeah. Yeah, they do.
So maybe that's part of it too. What do you think, Jason? Is that the bacteria in their paws that smells like corn chips?
Yeah, it is. Every dog has foot bacteria just like we do. And fungus. You don't want fungus, though.
No, it's nice to know that corn chip, tastes like a dog's paw smell. But anyway, thank you for that. Now I can go and tell him, a more scientific reason why the paws are dry and his nose is wet. Thank you.
You betcha. Hey, it's J.M. Smith. Did you have a question or did you want to talk about your pet?
I had a comment about kindergartners, actually.
Oh, yay. Go ahead.
Because kindergartners can either, well, this is actually true of all humans, most humans, but you can either sit still or you can listen. It's really hard to do both. So your somersaulting kindergartner was probably the best listener there. The others were so focused on sitting still, they may or may not have had a clue what you were saying. And that's the point of the somersaults, is to stay awake and to stay attentive. So
this is true. This is true even for me.
Yeah. See, you sit in a meeting and you look at people, not that we do anymore because we're all on Zoom, but, and I'm an occupational therapist. I'm a pediatric occupational therapist. So this is one of our little things, that everybody is doing something to stay awake. And that's the hair twirling and the clicking. And my sister was a leg jiggler and she'd jiggle the whole pew at church. So anyway, so kindergartners are another breed of animal, I guess, but that was what I was thinking of. We had some pet visitors, my cousin dogs, for our dog that came, and so he got to play. He's a service dog, so he doesn't get to play very often. So he got to play with them, but it's not that exciting of a story. It was mostly the kindergartners and your high school chemistry students.
That's a great story. Yeah, you know what? What's really interesting, and I have to, like, I always tell my colleagues, and I'm not that they need to hear that because I have such a strong, like the folks that I teach with are very, very strong and great educators. Is that when we have to sit through a meeting and we're like, oh my goodness, when is this going to end? I've been sitting here. It's the same way the kids feel, right? So you can't, like, if you are as an adult, like, losing your mind sitting in a meeting, you have to also think, how did I teach today? Right? Did I lecture for an hour? Because after about 20 minutes, those kids are just dying. Like they're just hating their life. So, yeah.
My favorite first grade teacher had ADHD. Oh. And so she was a terrific first grade teacher because she herself couldn't sit still. And so it was perfect.
I have an advantage in science because there's a lot of hands-on stuff we can do. So That's what I tell them. I'm like, yeah, like maybe you're really academic kids. There's some days you just got to plow through material, you can sit and practice, but your the younger kids and your less academic kids, there's no excuse why you can't. Okay, we've talked, took some notes, we've practiced some questions. Let's go do an experiment. Or just, go out and look outside. Thanks for sharing that. All right. Are there anybody else that has questions? Questions for us who would like to share a story? We don't have a talkative bunch this week. This is completely the opposite of last week when you weren't here, Chris, when I had too many speakers to manage.
Maybe I should go away more often.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying go away more often. Well, one thing I'll mention is people are maybe mulling over the idea to come up and share a story from this week or ask us some questions. Is that I was asked by my high school to be the teacher speaker at grad, which is a really cool honor. And I'm thinking of a way to work the dogs into my speech to the grads. Because you know how, like, I've been to many graduation speeches, and you only remember the ones that are like a little out there. And it's either that or I'm going to dress up as the Mandalorian and give a speech in my Mandalorian costume. One of the two. But I know I'll get their attention with that. Or I think Bunsen and Beaker are a better choice. But Chris, we've got to figure out something to do with them. If anybody in the audience has a suggestion, you could also request the mic and give me some suggestions about how to use Bunsen and Beaker in a graduation speech to the grads. We've got Rich here, Baden.
It says connecting for me.
No, wait, I got a filler sound for that. Maybe it's that maritime internet speed that's just getting him there.
Maybe.
Well, Paula's requested. We can bring Paul up while...
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't know, but Paula says connecting too.
Oh. Hey, can everybody hear us? Maybe it's our problem. Give us a clap or an emoji if you can hear us.
I can hear you.
Oh,
Paula's working.
Paula's working. Okay.
Yeah, you're coming on loud. You're coming in great in Connecticut. You really are. Maybe it's because of being in so close proximity to each other. What are you in the kitchen and Chris is in the turret? You guys always seem to be clashing.
No,
anyway.
Jason's downstairs. I set him up a little desk down there. And
there you go.
Yeah, he's in the spare bedroom.
I'm in my gremlin office right now.
You're in a gremlin office.
Yeah, I'm downstairs in this room in the dark. My little gremlin office. That's what I call it.
Oh, that's kind of cool. There you go.
It is not a gremlin office. It is not cold or dark in there, Jason. You're telling lies. It is beautiful.
It's kind of dark, and it's kind of like there's 4 boxes of Beaker stuffies beside me, and a destroyed.
There you go. Those are the gremlins, right?
Yeah. And there's like a destroyed Star Wars machine down here. So for some reason there is the laser I built for the shark with laser beams costume I built for you. I don't know why that laser's on the bed, but it is.
Because Jason, your cosplay is just spilling out into everywhere.
It's a bit of a
just
problem.
don't throw any water on them. Isn't that when the gremlins multiplied or something?
That's right.
That's right.
Right.
Or feed them after midnight.
Right. That's right. That was a crazy movie, but anyway, I don't know. I don't have a pet story this week. I was away dog sitting, but I took Olive with me. But it's a house that we always go to. But the only funny story about that is their dog is she's very jealous of Olive, even though she's seen Olive most of her life. But it was kind of fun. And for the first night, she actually sat like on a hassock, like across the room and wouldn't come near us. So that was pretty funny. I should have taken a picture because it was really cute. She's very standoffish, very smart little schnauzer poodle. So she's a schnoodle, but she'll watch airplanes go overhead. That's how smart she is.
Oh, that's cool.
Anyway. Yeah, she really is. And she knows so many words, and she knows when you say, well, mommy and daddy are coming home tomorrow, and one ear will cock up sideways. It's so cute to see. And then, she was very depressed because she's been COVID dogging, with the dogs with COVID, everybody's been home. So she was kind of attached at the hip to mom. So when mom went on a little, reprieve for a couple of days on vacation, she was just, being mopey, which dogs can do. So it's amazing to really watch their emotions. But anyway, I don't know if you guys could dress up. Can you dress up Bunsen and Beaker maybe like in a cap and gown kind of thing? And you know how you have those doctorates, when they come up and they speak at the colleges and stuff and they give special degrees. Maybe you could do something with the class and have the dogs give them some kind of cool degree or something, like a, something with a paw print and rolled like a diploma.
Cool. Yeah, that's cool.
Rolled like a diploma. And then, you could say, and they could have a basket of them at it or something, maybe something cute like that.
That would be cute. That wouldn't be, like it's a huge high school. So I think we'll have there's usually the hundreds and hundreds of grads, right? So,
oh geez, you got a big school then.
Yeah, it's a really big, it's huge high school. But it wouldn't be, I could probably swing the budget to have like a paw print, photocopied and then rolling them up would be the big thing, but that's not a bad idea. Also, Bunsen has worn the cap and gown before. Like he's so big, it fits him like a human.
Oh, I bet he just looks, Mr. Pomp and Circumstance. He's got it. Oh, Mr. Hollywood. Yeah. I mean, hey, you're going close with Hollywood with Disney. I swear to God, I got to get you guys like on a Today Show. I want to be your agent. I swear I could just start barking you, and then maybe they'll say, "Hey, that's kind of a cute story." We need cute stories in the news these days. So who knows? Maybe we can get you on a Today Show down in the United States. So, but that's all I got tonight, guys. So thank you for everything, and thanks for the great space as always.
No problem. Oh, and hey, Paula, see you, I just want to thank you also. You're one of our patrons.
Yes.
Have you been enjoying Bunsen and Beaker Unleashed, the private Twitter account?
Yes, I have. In fact, it makes my day because when I see like Beaker doing all caps or something's really cute coming up over the feed and I go, oh my God, this is the other account, because that it's a little more wonky than your normal one. So I encourage anybody listening to please be a patron, because it really is a lot of fun. And even the content you put on the Patreon pages is a lot of fun, in the photos and things. But the Twitter account is just like the cherry on the sundae. It truly is.
Yeah,
so.
It's been a lot of fun. I have all of these. I go to tweet something as Beaker and I'm like, wait, that's inappropriate. And then I save it in the draft. So I've just been going through my drafts and finding all of these like Beaker tweets that are just like, I
don't know. Let me ask you this question. Does Twitter allow the private tweets to be a little bit more like edgy, because normally they're kind of always on high alert for content,
I think you can pretty much tweet whatever you want as long as it's not hate speech or something like that. I know Beaker would never tweet something like that, but just maybe with a little more salty language.
Right, more saltiness, or even the Putin ones. I've been kind of saying those are great. I just I mean, it just needs, I don't know, everything is so tragic on the news these days. It's almost like you need that little bit of humor on something just to make you get through it. So I thank you guys. You're doing a marvelous job with everything you do. So
thanks, Paula.
And I appreciate it. Thanks. Good night.
Thanks, Paula. It looks like Rich might be up. Baden might be working.
Is it working?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm actually in my truck heading to play hockey. Saturday night in hockey. How much more Canadian can you get?
That's about as Canadian as you can get.
A couple of thoughts, random or whatever. For your speech, if you use Beaker and Bunsen, you could use them to show, and this is kind of hokey, but although they look completely different, they're the same species, and you might be able to do something along that line, anti-racism, anti-hate.
Okay, yeah.
And if you did it as an umbrella, you could say, this is the way.
Yeah, I know. This is the way.
I haven't been listening to you reading, Chris. I don't know why. I'm like one of Jason's kindergartners. I just can't sit still long enough.
That's
But I don't know
A-okay. No problem.
I don't know if you saw this article, but there was a vice principal in the States who was fired because the guest speaker who's coming in to talk to his say grade 1 to 5 kids couldn't make it, and he read a book out loud called "I Need a New Butt" and got fired.
I need a new butt. I did see that. It's too bad.
I did see that.
I just thought that might be something for your reading to the dogs.
Oh, we could read that book.
We could, and maybe put that one on the secret Twitter.
Oh, that's right. That could be on the private Twitter account.
I'm going to have to sign up for the inexpensive Patreon. I keep looking at it thinking, yeah, I should do that. But for whatever reason, I just never get off my butt to do it.
Oh, it's okay.
You need a new butt.
I was waiting for that.
Chris, do you know what? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. And about the last thing is Baden the Labrador, absolutely cold water doesn't faze him at all. We were up at a dog park in Truro, which is about a half hour from where I live. My daughter's a Special Olympian, and she swims there twice a week.
Oh, wow.
And now that the times changed, I quite often take Goofball with me, and they have a really nice dog park, which has a pond and mud in the middle, so it's Labrador heaven.
Yeah.
There was a duck on it one day, and that duck was cruel because Baden was right into the water. The duck would wait till he was 2 feet away and then move, but he wouldn't take right off. He'd just he'd launch, go about 3 or 4 feet, and then land again, almost going nah, can't catch me.
Oh my goodness.
So, I wish I had video, but about this time last year we were up there, and the ice was just going out of the pond, and that dog was right in there,
yep,
enjoying every moment of it. And he gets muddy because it's probably the closest thing to describe it would be a slough. And you could hear all the other dog owners going, "Don't you dare follow that Labrador."
Yeah.
And Colt, and like Beaks, he has a double coat, so he's well insulated for such. And I love the word shenanigans. That's so appropriate.
I love the word shenanigans too. I have to give, I know he's not in this space, but I've co-opted that word from another Spaces host named Joseline. So Joseline was the guy I heard. He used it all the time when things weren't going right. And I was like, I love that word so much. So now it's part of our lexicon too.
Oh, it describes, Baden's not quite as shenanigan-y as Beaker, but he has his moments for sure.
Yeah.
Our grandson we get him on Thursdays so that his mother gets used to him not being in the house. Her own words. And they were around the house chasing after each other. But the problem is Baden outweighs Ollie by about 4-1. So every so often there's this thump, and Oliver would land on his butt. Baden would look shamefaced. They'd look at each other, giggle, and start all over again. That's shenanigans.
That is shenanigans, yeah. Raffi plays like that with the dogs too, hey, Chris?
Yeah. Well, he likes to run them up and down the hallway, and they love it.
Yeah. He's little,
Bunsen,
though. He's like 2, so.
He's 3. He'll be 3 in July.
3, yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah,
Bunsen,
Ollie's 18 months.
Yeah,
there
so that's
go.
way smaller, way more toddly, because Bunsen doesn't corner very well. So sometimes it's like a big dog pile when they're trying to get around the corner because Raffi's like fast. Yeah. But I looked it up. I need a new butt. I broke my butt, which is the cheeky sequel to the international bestseller. I need a new butt. And then the last one is My Butt is So Noisy. So there's like 3 books that we could get.
Chris, actually, you know what I was thinking? What you need to read on the private Twitter is Go the F to Sleep. That's what you need to read.
Oh, I can't even say that word out loud. I can't even say that word. That word does not come out of my mouth. I can't.
I bet you'd make a lot of money for your crane from the patrons. I bet you some of them would chip in to hear that story be read by you on the private Twitter account.
Oh, Jason, I can't even say that word though. I can't. It's so bad.
It's acting.
Like I'm getting all anxious right now. I can't.
It's acting.
Maybe
it's
I could
real.
go to that.
That's right. It's acting. That's right. Well, Rich, can we go to another speaker? Is that okay?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
This was just, I wanted to see if this would work going into town. Everybody have a good night. Stay safe and try to be kind to one another.
Thanks. Great words. Okay, we'll go to one more speaker, and I think after that we'll do the draw. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, that sounds great. I will do one more double check of the name. And it's just ready to click to spin.
Oh my goodness. Donna Craig just sent us, I can't even read this book name out loud. Sorry, I don't think I'll say that one, but anyways, who's next, Chris? I'm sorry.
Amanda.
Okay.
I feel like I won the Price is Right. Thank you. Come on down. No, I'm more of a dog person, but I made the mistake of working at the Humane Society in Missouri in 2005. I don't know, for a couple of years there. And they had an office cat named Hody. Hody is gracing the nest right now. She's so classy. And she had feline leukemia, so they couldn't keep her in the kennels downstairs, and they couldn't really adopt her out. So for 2 years, they tried to find someone, hey, office person, you want a cat? Do you have any cats? What else do you want this cat? But we would take turns taking her home on the weekends. And I took her home one weekend and just didn't bring her back. She was so happy there.
Oh.
But she was great. She disappeared for 3 days once. We could not find the cat. She didn't go outside because we lived in a really busy intersection. And she was hiding under a blanket on the chair. And she generally just had this attitude of, go away, leave me alone. The dog was barking at someone coming in the front door once. She didn't really make any noise, a cat. But Hody looked over at my dog, Lizzie, and she just growled at her, like, shut up. And the poor dog was cowed and went off to the bedroom. But unfortunately, Hody did end up succumbing to feline leukemia about a year after I took her home. And at that point, I was working at a children's hospital. But I called my coworkers and I was like, I think I spent the last night on the floor with Hody's head in my hand. I slept like that all night. And my coworker came us up in the morning and I bawled for months. I mean, here I was, this dog person, and I have this group that I've been running for 13 years. Adopt an F5V or feline leukemia cat. So
I think, yeah, any pet that you take home or that you spends any day in your house, they just worm right into your heart. Like, even like we've dog set other dogs, and I'm like, I could just keep these dogs.
Right?
Yeah.
I have a picture. I'm going to throw it up in the nest. Not throw up, but I will put it up there, not barf it up. I came across this thing online. It said, I don't really care what people think of me. I care about dogs and kids. So let me find that.
Donna Craig is on fire. While Amanda's doing that, she says, in Texas, if we saw dogs at graduation, we would have thought they are drug dogs.
Oh no.
Donna, you are on fire today.
Donna, I love you. Marry me. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, she's hilarious.
Great.
Do you think kids would think that of Bunsen and Beaker? I don't know.
No, they would not. They would not, because they know Bunsen and Beaker.
Yeah, most of them know Bunsen and Beaker. Yeah.
Most of them know Bunsen and Beaker.
I went to school in southwestern Kansas, and someone took a picture at the high school last year. Some cows got loose, and they were on the track. Like a 1,200-person town. I've got cows. Come get your cow.
Oh my goodness.
We had a hold and secure last year, Chris. And do you know why? At my school, they had to hold and secure. It's like a code it's like there's 3 different codes. The worst one is a lockdown. That's very scary. Then there's a hold and secure. And then there's a hold and secure medical, but we had a hold and secure. Normally it's because like there's something.
No, Jason, there's a shelter in place.
Shelters in place. There we go. Shelter in place. I forgot what it was.
hold and secure,
Yeah, shelter
and then lock down.
Yeah, so hold and secure. We had a hold and secure, and normally it's like, oh, somebody's getting arrested or there's a perpetrator on the loose. And all the teachers were like, okay, guys, you got to stay in the classroom. You can't go outside. And everybody's like, all right. And then we found out later there was a moose right outside the main doors of the school, a massive bull moose that was probably like, 8.5 feet, 9 feet tall with its antlers. And it was just standing there looking at itself in the mirror for like 20 minutes, like the mirror
I
glass.
do that every day.
And they're like, we can't send kids out because this moose would murder somebody. So that's a pretty Canadian
moose
problem.
on a loose.
That's a pretty Canadian problem.
I saw it.
Yeah.
There were some signs that went up last year. Please do not let the moose lick your car.
Yes, that's true.
So I called my friends in Alberta. Hey, John Anderson, what are you doing up there? What's going on up in Canada?
It's the salt lick. They like it. It's the salt from the roads, and they lick it. Yeah.
And they're
out of context.
They're so big they can lick the top of a minivan. Like that's how big they are without even like they'll just come over and lick the top of a car. Like that. That's how big these animals are. They're just huge.
Crazy to think about. Okay, thank you, Amanda. We have Judy, also known as Olive.
I think,
up next.
and then Tracy as well. I think we've skipped Tracy.
Did we skip Tracy?
We did. We also have to do that draw. So, do you want to have one more speaker and then the draw? Because you're in charge of the draw.
I'm gonna click to spin.
Okay, so
can you hear it?
No. We have Chris has put stuff into a wheel. It's spinning, and wait a second. Wait, I've got sound effects for this. What am I doing? No, that's the wrong sound effect. There we go. Did it go through?
Yeah, I've got the winner.
Okay, are you gonna?
And the winner is here in our space right now.
Perfect.
Right, because I put in a bunch of names that maybe aren't here anymore, but this person is.
Yeah, they have to be in the space. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So, do I say the name?
I don't know why you're being so sneaky about it. Like, is it you?
I'm not.
Because you can't win the prize, Chris.
No, it's Kendra.
It's Kendra. Okay.
It's Kendra, and Kendra actually is from Alberta. She's north of us.
I see Kendra down there.
Yep.
U of A alumni. Okay.
Bachelor of Education.
Congrats to Kendra. Woot woot. So, go ahead. What?
Well, I was just gonna take a picture of my screen in case anybody's like, I don't think Kendra won, but it's true. No one has ever said that.
Yeah, no, people were a little suspicious when Benny won that one time because it's like,
I know, but I had taken a picture of the screen just in case.
Okay, so Kendra, could you DM our account and then we'll have you we'll get you in touch with our sponsor for the prize.
Yeah, Kendra knows us. She's DM'd us before.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so we'll go to Tracy and then Judy, who's Olive, right? Did I get that right?
Yeah. Sorry. Jason, you must have put Tracy up.
It's all good.
Yeah, it's all good.
Go ahead, Tracy.
Hello.
Hello.
Hope you guys are doing well.
We are.
So I just want to acknowledge that today is 18 years without major medical issues for me.
Oh, hey, congratulations.
And then I was wondering if anybody had tried cat food.
Say that again?
It's a brand of cat food called Cat Person. I want to know if anybody tried it, because it was like it's supposed to be like more natural and like for anybody if there's any cat people in here.
I misunderstood that and was going to say yes, but I will walk away in shame now.
I was confused too. Like I thought you were talking about if you've eaten cat food, and I think
it's an actual brand called Cat Person.
I think I was curious once in my life when I was young, and I had a spoonful, and I regretted it. So, Yeah. So I guess Tracy, if we don't have a speaker that knows, maybe they could DM you. Is that okay? Are your DMs open for that, or do you want them to DM?
I mean,
us?
yeah, I can have them open for that.
Or how,
But
you know
I
what?
mean, I was just like looking online and trying to find a better cat food because my cat doesn't seem to like his food that much.
You know what we can do just to keep one level of safety for you is if anybody knows anything about that food, they can DM us and then we'll DM you. That way you'll know it's from us and it's trustworthy, right? It's not somebody trolling you.
Yeah. and
Cool.
Paula
I mean,
has
I was
her
just
hand
like
up,
looking
so
up
maybe-
reviews and stuff. So
Yeah. Maybe Paula, you know about the food?
I don't know about that food, but I was thinking, Tracy, have you heard of that cat food? I saw a commercial for it. It was called like small cat food or something with small in the name. Because it's a independent company, but they supposedly have wholesome ingredients. And I was trying to get on Google real quick to see if I could find a name for you, but I thought it was something like small cat food. I know it sounds weird. And yeah, I thought the same thing. I thought you were talking about if we ever ate cat food. I ate a doggy donut one time.
No, I don't recommend meow mix. It does not.
how was
taste like
that?
chicken.
But I was a kid, not as an adult. Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to find this name. Smalls food for cat, like SMALLS, human grade ingredient. So I saw an
Okay.
advertisement, and I have a friend that has a cat that's very picky, and she was a rescue, and she goes, for a rescue cat, this cat thinks she's a queen now. So she eats only a couple of things and changes her mind the next day. So see if that's a good one too to try. So I saw that on TV and I thought, gee, that looks pretty good. So
Yeah, I was like looking through a cat food database, and supposedly like the food from my vet isn't even that good of a food. So I was like, maybe I'll try to get him something else that he might actually like.
well, I hope you find something good. But like I said, try that. Look at Smalls because it looked like they had some pretty good ingredients in it, and it wasn't, it was all natural and everything, and it was I don't know if it was organic, but it looked pretty cool.
All right, thank you.
Awesome. I brought a speaker up.
I can also speak about cat food if you need to, because I have a fat ass. She loves cats in the kitchen. It is these pouches that has fresh made food like tuna or salmon or mackerel or turkey, and it has like a little bit of human type gravy for her. So when she gets picky, she eats that.
Does the cat get too picky to like eat normal food? Like it'll just like turn its nose up and you...
Oh, wait. Okay, I can look into that as well.
There
Just
you
trying
go.
to get some ideas here.
Jason, you're muted.
Oh, I've been talking to myself and I was like, how come nobody's answering me and I'm muted? That's like, boy, everybody's being so rude tonight. No, I'm just
No, we're just in a
dumb.
zen moment here.
I'm
having
just
a moment.
dumb. I was just going to say, it doesn't matter now. I was trying to comment like a minute ago. But keep talking, everybody.
Yeah, so we now have Judy, also known as Olive. Oh.
I came on a bit late to your space tonight, so I have a question for Jason.
Sure.
Going back to your graduation predicament, are you actually planning on bringing Bunsen and Beaker to your graduation, or are you just looking for like a epitome to speak to your students about Bunsen and Beaker?
Well, I haven't even thought about writing my speech yet. And I have some ideas, but I thought it would be cute if like I got up to speak and then they ran up to the front of the stage and then they posed for a quick picture and then they took off, right? So I'd probably need Chris's help for that.
Really
Yes,
cute. A lot of pressure on yourselves. My only thought is, take it for what it's worth. The parents are going to need Bunsen and Beaker more than the students. So you might want to include them as well. That's my only thought. I love you guys.
Yeah, we thought we could have a meet and greet with them after, and people could pose with pictures with them. Like we could have Bunsen and Beaker in a grad gown, and Bunsen would wear the hat. And I thought that would be cute for the grads who want to.
How famous are they within your school? They must be like totally famous, right?
I don't know. See, that's a tough one to guesstimate. Not they know like the kids that have me as a teacher, they know about Bunsen and Beaker, and but most of them don't. I would say most of the kids in the school have no idea about Bunsen and Beaker. It's
okay. You got to do the build up. Then you got to start bringing them into the school and getting the. But whatever you decide to do, it's gonna all be good. If dogs are involved, everything's a success.
Yeah.
You should just do like a have a presentation in the auditorium about Bunsen and Beaker, how great they are, and then bring them for graduation.
There we go.
Well, there's always a lesson to learn when a dog's involved. That's my philosophy.
Yeah.
It'd be like Zaboomafoo, right? Zaboomafoo comes right in the beginning of the Animal Planet show or whatever, and then he goes away. So it'd be like Zaboomafoo dog, and then bye.
Yeah.
Yep.
Grab the attention and then go in for the lesson, I guess.
Yep.
But all right. Have a good night, guys.
Thank you. I'm really confident that they would do a good job because they were rock stars at that Tell Us World of Science thing, Chris, right? Like it was
100%.
It was like 100%. There were so many people. It was an adults only event. I think some people had a little bit of wobbly juice. And there was like loud dance music playing. So, Tracy, your mic's on.
Oh,
it's okay. You're just like slam-a-pajamming some stuff. Yeah, so if they are involved, I'm pretty sure they would do a good job, and they're really good at posing. Well, Bunsen is, at least for long periods of time. So,
well, and Beaker's doing pose too. So when she goes to doggy daycare, doggy preschool, they are doing pose with her, and so she's that's one of the tricks she's learning, and of course she's doing very well because she likes to pose.
Yeah. Go ahead, Paula.
I have to ask, did you ever find Kevin?
Kevin! No. Not found Kevin.
Huh?
Kevin?
Oh,
no.
Geez. That's like in his lost jacket.
He's out there somewhere.
I think that's he's in cyberspace or something.
I really wish I wasn't an idiot and realized, this is Kevin, the real Kevin. Oh, but we were just so distracted.
This is it was our first time doing an event like that and being mobbed by people with dogs. Normally at a Comic-Con, I'm way more with it when we get mobbed by people. But it was pretty disorienting. They want us back, Chris, so maybe we'll see Kevin for another Spark After Dark. I think I've been in touch with them and they want us back. So I think we'll probably run into Kevin a second time.
Okay, and maybe we'll just
you might catch him in that corner again. You have to go back to the same spot.
Oh my God, Kevin! Oh my, I can't even. Why did I do that? And then I just kept getting my put my foot in, and then just kept shoveling it in.
Oh, that is just the funniest story. I
know.
This makes me laugh. You guys are so cool. That is the best.
I brought
my favorite part.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Chris, and then we'll
Jason,
go.
My favorite part is you always try and save me from myself, and you're like, Chris, that's not Kevin. Why would you think that's Kevin? I'm just let it out, Kevin. Are you Kevin? Oh my God.
I feel like sometimes I'm Jim from The Office, and I'm like, nope. You know how he when super cringy stuff is happening, he's trying to stop it from happening. I feel like sometimes that's me. And then I look to the camera and I'm like, well.
Well, and then I'm just cringe, 100%. Anything, everything, Cringeville, population me. That's, yeah.
No, it's good most of the time.
Most of the time.
Okay, so we're going to go to Miss Penelope has been waiting. Hello. I don't know if you've ever been up as a speaker before.
I don't know if I have. No, I may have. I don't I don't know. I just wanted to say last Thursday, or what was it? Not last Thursday, 2 days ago, I adopted a new rescue dog.
Oh.
Yes, and I don't know if any of you had heard about the Marshall Fire in Colorado. It destroyed, it was this past December where it destroyed over 1,000 homes and buildings.
Mm-hmm. I did hear about that.
And, it was horrible. It was the worst destruction fire and killed it was just horrible. It literally burned down one city almost completely, like 40 miles from me. But anyway, I adopted a 10-month-old Chihuahua from a foster family, and her name is I cannot remember her darn name because they had two names for her, but her name is Piper Layla and she was found when the rescue teams were going through the last of the fire, just checking again. They heard her and found her in between two burnt buildings.
Oh my goodness.
And yeah, and so they took her to the shelter, and the foster family I got her from had seen her there because they were helping with all the animals that they were bringing in, and said they'd take her. And I had been looking for a new Chihuahua because we had lost ours 9 months ago to congestive heart failure. So I've been looking for about the past month, and so I went on to our local rehoming in our county, and I live in Colorado, and there wasn't really a lot on there. There was nothing that I really wanted. And so I get this message from a lady, a private message, and she said she had a Chihuahua, and she explained, 10 months old, and she only lived like 3 miles from me, which was bizarre. So I went over there Thursday evening, and I met her husband. What an amazing family this is. And now I have this 3-pound, 10-month-old Chihuahua, Piper Layla, along with my 19-year-old Bashan. And I forgot, it's been 10 years since I've had a puppy. So this is, oh my gosh, I forgot how much work they are. And yeah, and she's not real friendly to me. No, let's just say she's not real friendly at all to me. But my husband, as soon as he walked in the door Thursday night, he got down on one knee, and she went up to him, and she's inseparable from him. But me, she rarely comes near me. And I don't know why. I don't know why that is. But when I'm feeding her, she's fine. I went over to my husband, and I act like I was going to touch him, and she went crazy. She doesn't want me near him. But I don't know she's warming up slowly, but it's only been since Thursday. So, I don't know why.
Little bit of trauma, and sounds like resource protecting of the male.
Really? See, I've never dealt with any of this before, because all my other Chihuahuas, my dogs, and I understand the trauma part. Oh my God, it broke my heart to hear this story.
Mm-hmm.
And she is a little underweight, and she's because the vet, she's had all of her shots. The foster family, we had a lot of veterinarians in our area that did all the animals were taken care of for free. They took her, and she got all of her shots. They wouldn't spay her yet because of her weight.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm going to fatten her up a little bit, but I don't know why she just won't take to me. She loves my husband. She sleeps on him. She sleeps with him, but not near me. So I don't know what to do.
I think time will help for sure. And and just positive reinforcement of being around you. If maybe you're the only one that feeds her, maybe
I am.
Yeah, maybe you try and give her treats. And then
I did that today.
Yeah, and it might just take might take time.
And I think now that I'm retired, my husband's working, and with this next week with him at work all week, and it's just me and her, and our other dog. I think that'll help. Now she loves our Bashan. Oh my gosh, she is just. I had to put him up on our bed so she couldn't get after him anymore. He just had it because he is 19 years old.
Oh, okay.
And but she's so well house trained. She's just a mate, just this tiny little thing. I'm thinking, please love me.
Oh.
So I'm sure. Yeah. So anyway, that was my good story since, she was found in a horrible situation, but she was found. They were just doing their last sweep and they heard something and they went in between these buildings that were burnt down and there she was. So, and they were able to locate the original family because they had records of all the different things in this neighborhood. And they had left and went to Ohio, moved back to Ohio, and they told the foster family just to keep her. And because the foster family has 4 dogs that they're fostering, big one, they didn't think it was fair to Piper. So, yeah, that's how I got her. So it's been great though. So I'm just going to keep trying. Yeah.
I love that. I love that story. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Oh, thank you. So I'll keep
touching.
you guys updated.
Yeah, we'd love that. Yeah, that'd be amazing. We're all invested in Piper now. We're all invested in Piper.
Oh gosh, me too. Thank you.
You bet.
Chrissy, can I just add something to your story?
Go ahead.
So I have in the past fostered many kinds of dogs and they've all gravitated toward me. I'm the feeder, I'm the walker, all of that. They've all loved me unconditionally. Well, my Miss Olive, who came, adores my husband. She likes me, but she adores my husband. And I have to say, it's the most, and my husband isn't the one that wanted to get another dog. I was the one that pushed it. I'm the one that, promoted it. I'm the one that brought her home. But those two have such a bond. It's such an amazing, loving relationship to see. So even though she doesn't love me as much as she loves him, it's still like just a wonderful, I've never had that before because all the dogs that I've had in my house, and I've had probably at least 50, it was always me, 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 me. But the pressure is off me now. So she waits at the window for him. She sits by the gate outside for him. It's actually a very lovely thing to see because usually if you're home and you're the feeder and you're the walker and you're the one that's with them most of the time, it's they choose who they choose. It doesn't mean that this little Chihuahua baby, God bless you for taking this one in, doesn't love you. It's just going to take a little time for the family dynamic to set up. And she will love you, but she might always love your husband that much more. And that's not a bad thing. I love that.
Thanks for sharing. I think with Bunsen and Beaker, Bunsen definitely is super affectionate to me, but he absolutely adores Chris. That's why she's the mummy. That's why she's the mummy fave. I've put a couple things up into the nest. I'm just gonna do one more reminder that we are sponsored today by BarkandBeyondSupply.com, and there's a couple ads in the nest of stuff that they sell. They sell shampoos and joint stuff. And again, like we've had a couple speakers over the last couple weeks sing the praises of this company. So if you've got a dog or pet and you're looking for some stuff to get online, check out what they have. It's a huge amount of selection at BarkandBeyondSupply.com. The other thing I'm going to put up there just real quick, it's in my bookmarks. 1 second here, spaces, loading, perfect. Is Chris and I are guests on, Indra was here for a second. Indra is another Spaces host. Indra runs something called the Positivity Vibe Tribe, and we are guests actually Monday for her show. And we're going to be talking about finding your purpose. So it's again, we're not normally the ones getting interviewed, but that's on Indra's Spaces show. She's a really good Spaces host. promotes things like positivity, meditation, and just being centered, I guess, which is important in today. I see you have a hand up, J.M. Smith.
That was a nope.
Oh, sorry.
That was a whoop. I didn't mean to tap that one.
Oh, it was a whoops. Okay. Do any of our speakers have anything else they'd like to add? Or do any of our listeners have anything they'd like to say before we close out the space tonight?
I have a quick question, Jason. What time is that on Monday?
I think if you go into it, it will tell you for your time zone. For us, it's at 6 p.m.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Like if you go into do you see it up in the nest there? Indra Positivity. There's like the reminder that can be set. Yeah. So I think it's 8 p.m.
Yeah, it was 8. It's 8 for East Coast. Yeah.
8 for East Coast. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
No problem. All right. It looks like we don't have any other speakers or questions. So we'll close out the space. There we go. Thanks for coming to Pet Chat today, listening to our stories about Bunsen and Beaker. Congratulations to Kendra for winning, and special thanks to our sponsor, Bark and Beyond, Supply.com, for supplying the prize there. This Monday, as I said, we're on Indra's Positivity Vibe Tribe space. And then it's a busy week. Tuesday is our Science Chat space at 7 p.m. Mountain Time, 9 p.m. Eastern. And our guest this week is a phytoremediation scientist, Dr. Liz Murray, who's from Calgary, right close to us. And she has giant dogs, Tibetan Mastiffs, actually. So we'll talk to her about how the sun is used to clean up our mess. And as well, probably talk about her giant dogs, her Tibetan Mastiffs. All right, Chris, do you have anything else to add before we close out? Or are you still outside?
I would just like to thank everybody for coming to our space tonight and sharing the joy of our pets and sharing our stories. It's amazing to build this community with you, and I appreciate every single one of you.
Awesome. Well, we'll close with Bunsen and Beaker's saying, for science, empathy, and cuteness.